I really should have waited until episode 59 to feature this. That's the joke. Welcome back to the Scale Builders Guild. Thanks again for watching. It's episode 29 of What's on the Bench Weekly. And if you are not familiar with this show, it's where I take you through projects that I'm working on, stuff that's come across the bench, like this. The RedCat 59 Impala Lowrider. And I'm sure you've seen these before. Not entirely new. They've done a couple of different body styles. This is one of the more recent ones and the one that appealed to me the most. I definitely like the look of this, and this is a functional lowrider. It's got all of the hydraulics and all of the hopping and bouncing and off-camber leans and such. It does all those things, and I'll give you a little demonstration on it. I'm not actually too familiar with lowrider culture. It's not something that we have a lot of here in Canada. I'm probably wrong on that. I'm sure there are people who have made these out there in Canada, but you know, the roads here suck, and we get a lot of snow and a lot of frost, and not a lot of opportunities to participate in this culture. But it is quite a large and enthusiastic group of enthusiasts who love to create and maintain these lowriders. This one comes with this very detailed remote. There's a lot of knobs on there, including the one behind the camera. But it does offer a lot of built-in functionality, and it does make it quite easy to use. And these are pretty interesting chassis. There's a lot of stuff going on under here. Why don't we fire it up, and I'll give you a little quick demonstration on what's possible with the old 59 here. It is a very nicely detailed Lexan body. There's a lot of hard plastic details, from the antennas on the back to all of the light buckets and bumpers and all the chrome pieces on here. It looks really, really good, and they've done a very nice job. The fit and finish is fantastic too, I might add. Getting at things is a little complicated. There's a couple of body clips underneath, which do require you kind of tilting the car around to get at everything, but once you do, it's simple enough to remove the body and get a look at everything underneath here. The body does feature a full interior, I might add, which is pretty nice. RedCat includes a nickel metal hydride battery, which, you know, most people would consider just not using it, cutting off the ESC connectors, just putting your own connector on there. But the weight of a nickel metal hydride battery actually does come into play here. And because the electronics are fairly simple, you don't need much in the way of power. So this works just fine. But let's plug it in, and I'll kind of give you a quick demonstration here without the body on, so you can see everything that's going on. There are 4 servos, count them, 4. 1 for steering, 1 for hopping in the front axle, and 2 independent of each other on the rear axle. Some of these are Reefs servos, I should add. The Alatricious 300 is the one that does the hopping up front. You do want a nice strong servo for that. And then we've got a small 380 can brushed motor and a Hexfly. This is a Hobby Wing 1060 basically, I believe, or 1040 maybe. Maybe 1040. I don't know. Tell me in the comments down below what ESC that is. There is some suspension travel, but it is meant mainly to be a lowrider. So let's turn on the remote, and the car comes to life, as you can see. You do have, full forward and reverse. It does take a little bit of getting used to if you're not used to one of these style of radios. But simple enough to control, and it does function as a driving model. As you can see, there is suspension travel there, as a regular car would have. But if you want to do some special stuff, like, say, raise the rear, there is a toggle for that. You can also do it independently of one another. So if you want to just raise the right, raise the left, you can do that. And those are variable controls, so you can kind of vary how much you want to do it. It's progressive, lots of travel there. Same thing on the front. You can just raise that independently. You can make it hop. There's also a hopping button which is pretty fun. If you raise both rears and then hop it, it will stay up, which is pretty cool. Very, very cool stuff. And it's pretty fun. This is a nice, fun little car. More fun than I thought it was going to be. And it certainly is a lot more stable and a lot stronger than I was expecting too. Not because it's from RedCat, but because of just the nature of this type of vehicle. Because it is sort of a novelty style vehicle, you don't always expect the best quality is going to go into it. But they actually did a pretty good job. And it works quite well. It's impressive. You know, you can do all the things you would normally do with an RC car, and then you can do some stuff that's a little bit out of the realm of what you would be normally expecting. But when you get the timing right, it's pretty fun. Looks great with the body on it. Underneath, they've actually done a great job of detailing this plastic tub. You can still see there is a drive shaft to a rear axle, nice solid axle there. There are exhausts, there are metal links, some great molding details in this whole thing here, and it's a good looking car with lots of cool bits and pieces. It is heavy. They've weighted down the rear end to allow for that hopping to really sort of be pronounced. So there's actual metal plates that are in the back there. And in the box, they include a whole bunch of extra ones in case you want to like add more weight, or you might change the body or something, and may have to change the sort of the dynamics of where that weight is located. You can do that. So there's also, if you have it set in the rear position, there's also a quick drop rear or drop position where you can just hit the button and it just kind of automatically will lower. Pretty fun stuff. You can also raise the front, raise the front up if you want, and then from there, everything's just sort of. You can kind of make up new combinations as you go and do all kinds of fun stuff. So definitely got some cool potential there, and ripe for customizing. And I say that because not only do you get this great body with an excellent interior, it's a really nice looking body, I have to say. RedCat really did a great job on this. And while it's a little complicated, not easy to just plop it on there, we'll just plop it on there for now. They do include a couple of pieces to further customize it. Extra stickers here for detailing the interior, which is not done from the factory. You have to go in and do that yourself. There's also a few rear panels here that you can use to cover up those rear tires. That was a pretty fancy look back in the day, and it does look quite good like that. So, and this wouldn't be a what's on the bench if there wasn't a bunch of ways to customize or change this vehicle in some way. And RedCat provided me with a whole slew of accessories, including a nice chrome bottom panel, in case you really want to bling things out. I don't think anybody says bling anymore, but if you really want to make things shine, here's option number one. They've also got a bunch of gold accessory parts for really splashing out, and you can even change all of the chrome to gold chrome, so you could do something really fancy there. They've even got the whole ladder chassis, faux ladder chassis, of course, in chrome as well. There are a bunch of really cool option parts which I will be adding to this car over time. The side panels are all separate from the hood. There's no way you could mold this as a solid piece in Lexan. It just would not have the detail and the undercuts and all of the stuff that goes into these older 50s style bodies. You just would not be able to do that with a single piece of Lexan. So the fact that it's multi-piece definitely makes it a fun project in and of itself. But I'm not really one to do what's expected. So I'm going way outside the box here, and we're gonna get this body out of here for a second. Something a little unexpected, and I think we're gonna see about making this Land Cruiser body work. Gosh, I don't know, it's definitely the right width. So the wheelbase is a touch longer than this one is currently, which isn't to say we can't make it work. We'll just have to chop the chassis and stretch it out and do something a little bit out of the norm. I got this body a long time ago. I can't remember exactly where it came from, but it took forever to arrive. It's a 100 series Land Cruiser, and it is not Lexan. This is actually vacuum formed styrene. So we'll be able to add all kinds of nice dimensional details with styrene plastic, which is my favorite medium to work in. So this seemed like a good candidate because it's definitely wide enough. It's got the track width, which is great. These wheels and tires are obviously quite small. But yeah, with some minimal trimming, I think we'll be able to make this work. I think what we'll probably end up doing, this already looks so bizarre, is probably chop it right down the middle and just extend the chassis out. That's probably going to be the easiest way to make that work. And then we're kind of go from there. I've got different wheels and tires in mind because I don't think these wire wheels with the white walls are really the look we'd be going for. But we're going to have some fun with this, I think. And it'll definitely be an interesting project to watch come together. I'm going to have to try to knock this one out really quick because I don't have a lot of time, but I do want to give it justice and do something fun with this chassis. So that's sort of where this is at. If you've got ideas or you think maybe this isn't the right body for this project, let me know in the comments down below. You know I love reading through your feedback and I try to answer as many of them as I can. And if you're enjoying this video and you love what's on the bench, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you get updates anytime there's a new video from the Scale Builders Guild, of which there will be many, some featuring this. And also, come up with a name for this project. Put it down below. All right, I think that's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you again next week.